One of the greatest gifts that we can give someone is our presence, and a really, really good question. Friends, today we're diving in and talking about the art of asking great questions, how to become a better interviewer, a leader, and a communicator. So grab your warm cup of coffee and let's dive in. Hello, beautiful Redlo women. How are you today? It's Terri here, your coach and biggest cheerleader. I'm here to put a little bit of inspiration in your day. Welcome to the Redlo Women podcast, where we empower midlife women to reclaim their confidence, rise higher, and step boldly into their next chapter. And we do it together. I became a midlife entrepreneur after overcoming my own self-doubt to start this podcast, write my book, and coach women just like you. And I did it all in my 50s. I knew I wanted more after navigating my own life transitions, overcoming some really hard things, and trying to figure out what was next. As I did, I decided to help you do the same. So grab your warm cup of coffee or step into your favorite tennis shoes and let's step forward together. Let's go. People tell me all the time that they love the sound of my voice. But what touches me even more is when they say, "Terri, you ask really great questions. You are such a great interviewer." And that thought has been sitting with me a lot lately. I've been thinking about this, not just as a podcaster with 141 episodes, but as a woman, as a coach, a friend, a mom, a wife, and someone who's always learning, and someone who's extremely curious about people, their stories, what got them from where they were to where they are now, and really human behavior. Someone once asked me what I could talk about for hours, and my response very quickly was human behavior. I've always been really curious about who people are and why we are the way we are. So all of this to say that it really got me thinking about how we ask great questions. It might be one of the most powerful tools that we have as humans, right? It's the art of communicating. And whether you're hosting an interview, leading a business, leading a meeting, having a conversation, or simply connecting with someone you love, being a great interviewer, asking great questions, and listening is a really, really important skill. So today we're going to dive in and talk about what makes a great interviewer and what makes a great question asker, for lack of better words, right? Because it really matters in your connection with others, whether you're coaching, like I said, whether you're leading a business meeting, or just in your own relationships. And I recently heard Ed Milet talk about this on Brendon Burchard's Monday's Motivation in Growth Day, and it really sparked my thoughts. So here we are. Let's talk about how we ask great questions. And here are 5 things that I really want you to think about. Number 1, always ask open-ended questions, because that invites that person in. Don't just ask a question that can be answered with a yes or no. That's a very short, shallow conversation, right? I like to go deep. I don't float around the surface at all. I really like to go deep with people. So ask them a question that requires a full answer. What did you mean in that moment when you said blah, blah, blah? What did that moment teach you? Can you take us back to that day and what were you feeling? What would you say to the woman who's in the same place you are right now? Or what would you say to the woman who is experiencing what you experienced 5 years ago? These questions invite someone to go deep. They are emotional questions. They are a point of connection that really allows you to get to know someone on a deep and personal level. What got them from where they are to where they are now? What was the journey? How did they heal? How did they reinvent themselves? How did they start again, right? Those are really, really powerful questions, and these are always questions that I ask in my interview. As a coach, this is also something that's really important and something that I teach women who are launching their business. So when you have a course or you're doing this one-on-one coaching, you have very specific and strategic questions that are open-ended that you ask each session that you have. Let's say you have a 3-month course or a 3-month coaching program. Each session has a pillar and something that you are trying to accomplish. So you're taking someone from point A to point B in that 3 months. You're trying to help them have a transformation. So each session that you have is very specific, and you want to help someone make that transformation. And the way you do that is by asking very strategic and specific questions. It's not a therapy session where you just show up and say, "Hey, so how was your week? How's it going?" No. You have a specific time frame that you are allowed to meet with this person, and you want to give them those aha moments as much as you can with these very specific questions to help them arrive at their own conclusion, their own decisions. Make sense? Now, when I do my interviews, I always send my guests a list of questions in advance. So this is number 2, always provide some kind of a roadmap, but not a script. When I send these questions, it's not for them to write out perfect answers and respond to me. It's just a guide, kind of like guardrails to let them know where we're going. And we all do better when we kind of have some kind of a direction, right? Especially when you're talking, you're being interviewed, you know those nerves are going to show up. So if your brain wants to protect you and you begin to shut down, you can look down and see that you have these 5 questions and maybe see some of your responses just to help you. For me, I do this so much now. I show up here and I talk on the podcast, often very extemporaneously. I do that when I lead a masterclass because I've been doing it now for so long. And even when I show up on videos, I can just show up candidly and just talk about something because I've been doing it for so long, and practice makes us better. But not everyone is really comfortable with that. So it's always really good to give someone a roadmap if you're doing an interview, either on camera or on a podcast, or even in your business, right? Let them know kind of where you're headed. The third thing, be really curious and be present, right? Put away all your devices. Don't be distracted. Just be really focused. Look that person in the eye. Yes, even on Zoom, you can look someone in the eye because your body language reflects on how much you are listening. Are you looking straight ahead, or are your eyes wandering around? Are you nodding to the things that they say? Your body language matters just as much as theirs does, right? So really listen. I tell everyone that I'm interviewing that I'm listening so deeply that a lot of times I don't even remember the full conversation. And it's so true. I know that sounds kind of quirky, but I am so present in the conversation and to everything that they're saying that I don't often even hear the full extent of everything until I listen to it back, if that makes any sense. But when I'm interviewing, even though I give somebody this roadmap, maybe I usually give 5 questions, but I'm known to go off a bit. I might say, oh, wait, can we just circle back to that, what you just said? That was really powerful. Or I'll say, can you tell me what you meant when you said X? Or, wow, that was really incredible. Do you feel comfortable diving into that a little bit deeper so we can learn more about that? That was just such a powerful thing that you just said. So that shows that person that I'm really listening intently. That creates intimacy. It creates connection. It tells that person that you're talking to, you matter. I'm here. I'm present. I'm really curious about the things you're saying, and I see you and I hear you. Really, really important. Number 4, listen more than you speak. This applies to everything, right? It applies to the interview that we do here on a podcast. It applies to any relationship, right? When you really listen to someone, you really show them that you're present, and it brings out what they know. Honestly, I tune out of podcasts where the host just interrupts a lot or hijacks the mic too often. It really annoys me. It's one of my biggest pet peeves. I have someone on the podcast because I want them to shine. I want to learn from them. I want to hear their story. And I'm here to hold space and allow them to shine and share who they are, share their journey. What got you from point A to point B? We can all learn that from that. We learn so much from one another. But if I'm interrupting and trying to control the conversation, we don't learn from someone, right? I do my own solo podcast episodes just like this one. This is when I can talk a lot. Make sense? So really listen far more than you speak and apply that to your own relationships as well, right? What do they say? God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. And it's so true. And number 5, don't interrupt. Another, just a huge pet peeve of mine, even if you're really excited. I know sometimes we just want to drive in and interrupt and yeah, me too, I get this. But we really want to let that other person speak. Silence is sacred. Being quiet and having that silence means you're comfortable. When you pause, it allows someone else to reveal something else that they might not have shared before. It allows them to go a little bit deeper. It tells them, I'm here for you. I'm really comfortable. I'm okay with this silence in this conversation. And if you think about when you're with someone that you really care about, you can sit in silence for a long time. That means you're comfortable. Or a really good friend, you go on a road trip and you can just sit in silence. You don't need that conversation to constantly flow, right? And it's the same in an interview. You can have these longer pauses. It's okay. So if it pauses too long, you want to pick the conversation back up. And you kind of have to know that that's kind of a magical thing, right? But it's okay to allow someone to pause. But do not interrupt someone, right? It matters. And you'll really hijack the conversation if you do that. So I hope this helps you. These are 5 things that I think are really, really important, for those of you that are getting started maybe on a podcast or you're curious about doing one and how do you interview people. So let's just recap. Number 1, I always send questions in advance just to give someone a roadmap. And I always tell them that I might go off a little bit, but mostly those are the guardrails in the conversation where we're going to go with this. It's kind of what I want to know. And what I want my listeners to know about this person I'm interviewing. So always ask open-ended questions because that invites their story. That allows them to tell who they are, the journey they've taken, and what got them to where they are now. Number 2, like I said, provide that roadmap, right? It's not a script, it's just a guideline. Number 3, be curious and be present. Always listen far more than you talk. Yes, listen more than you speak. That's number 4. And then number 5, don't interrupt. Let that person talk. Okay, hope that helps you. But asking great questions is a great skill, not only for podcasting, but as a leadership skill. It's leaning in with curiosity and creating that connection, community, and having compassion for where someone has been and what got them to where they are now. And it's a great human skill to have, right? So I want to challenge you the next time you're having a conversation with someone, ask a question and really listen. Ask open-ended questions. Be curious, be quiet, be open, and see what unfolds. Let them answer the question and pay attention. And I forgot the other thing I wanted to say is when you're asking questions, don't just go off and ask how the weather is. Ask questions in response to what they're saying that are pertinent to what they just said. Because that's another thing that'll tell you that if you're just going down that list, then you're not asking the proper questions, right? You want them to know that you're really present. So I hope this helps you today. I hope you are able to lean in a little closer, not only with your body language, but listening, asking great questions, and diving deeper, connecting deeper with those you love, those you work with, those you lead, those you coach, and those that you're speaking to on a podcast. And if you're wanting to learn how to speak with more confidence, to show up on camera, to speak more confidently on a podcast, and to learn some tools to really help you shine online, get on my Speak Wait list. I'll put that link here in the show notes. It's a live, interactive 6-week class to really help you gain that confidence that you need to shine as yourself. Who are you? Who are you really? How do you show up in this very busy online space now, and how do you stand out? How do you just be yourself? Anyway, full of great tools, and I'll put that link here in the show notes. But I hope you have some key takeaways that you can apply for your life today. Have an awesome day. Until we meet again, know that you are seen, you are heard, you are loved, you are valued, and you belong. God bless. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for showing up. If this episode resonates with you, please share it with a friend, someone that might need a little bit of encouragement today. And if you could be so kind just to take a moment and leave me a review, I would love that. This helps other women know what we are doing here in this space and helps them find this podcast. Because as I said in the beginning, my goal is to help you feel a little bit of inspiration each day and to step forward. And I'm here if you need some extra support with the coaching, with my Elevate coaching, and with my Speak class. Keep stepping forward. God bless.